to strap your handcuffs on your wrist and strap one handcuff on the wheel. And if that car falls off the cliff, which is your business, then you die with it. That clear.
Welcome to the MIB Podcast, where we help you chase your dreams side by side. And now, your hosts, Mike and Talia Osborne.
What's up?
Hey, everybody.
Mike
and Talia.
You're listening to the
MIB Podcast.
Married and in Business. And it's exciting. We have our first interviews today.
Yay!
Great, isn't it? So why don't you introduce our married and business couple?
All right. So this is my longtime college friend, Jared, and his wife, Vanessa Best. They are the owners of Shockwave Strength and Performance, which is pretty awesome. We are not strong and we're not performing, but we want to be
strong in college. What are you talking about?
Almost grandpa strong.
No, we've been trying to work out, so we'll get there one day. But welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome. All right, so guys, tell us a little bit about your background, about your family, things you got going on.
Sure. So Vanessa and I have been married for about 5 years, been together about 8, going on 8 now, and we have a little guy, a 6-year-old Jared Jr. We also have the privilege of having a beautiful stepdaughter that I call my own, Natasha, and we have Emma is
5,
and
wow. Natasha is 27.
Wow, yeah. So we have that kind of blended family going on, and it has worked out incredibly. So we all get along because both of us come from very big family backgrounds. Me being from Georgia, growing up here, I have, no family here. All my family's still in Georgia, and besides Natasha and your brother, everybody else is in Puerto Rico for you.
Yeah.
So
and
that,
North Carolina.
Yeah, North Carolina, and a little bit of Florida. A lot of Florida. So that's where the demographic. I'm the GA boy where everybody is in Georgia right now. So for the Super Bowl. So I know Atlanta is crazy right now. But that's a little bit about our family.
Okay, and so what about your background? How did you get into owning this amazing workout facility?
Sure. So in college and then moving through, graduated and then went to master's and then my PhD program. And then throughout the whole way, I have been still active in sports, as far as going from powerlifting to bodybuilding, and both at the pro level. And then from there, moving on really to wanting to create an atmosphere. And this was in my master's program. This whole idea was a 2009 capstone for me to graduate. So initially, my professor told me, like, if you ever really kind of turn this into an idea, you really may have something there. I was like, shut up, I just want to graduate, get my master's, get out of here. But 10 years later, we're here, and they just started off with a vision. So I've always been, with sports and everything else. So, and being able to kind of translate that into a facility that starts kids as young as 5 years old, developing them was a dream. And went to my wife and told her, hey, this is what I think we can do. And she's always been one of the most supportive people that I know. And we're here.
That's very good. Me and Ty we're doing a recording last night. It was all about us being going in separate directions, and how hard it is for people that enjoy being with their spouse. I know that's like foreign to want to hang out with your own wife, but
sure. I know it's weird.
Yeah, when she had her own business and I kind of did my own thing, we just didn't feel like we clicked, like we're getting anywhere.
Yeah.
So I can definitely relate to what you guys are doing, and I remember the good bodybuilding days too. And yeah, those were about 11 years ago before we had the baby, which is now 11. But it makes me sore just thinking about it, right? So you went to CNU, Christopher Newport University, right? Newport News?
I was for 2 years, and then I would transfer to the University of Maryland.
Okay, great. So that is the University of Maryland. What are the Turtles?
Turtles.
Turtles.
So what is the main reason why someone would come to your facility?
I think the main reason is because we're the premier athletic performance facility in Virginia. We're about 34,000 square feet. We have an indoor track. We have a full 40-yard dash. We have we have another set of athletic performance turf. We have all the latest and newest equipment for our strength training. We have coaches that have not just a certification, but a bachelor's or a master's degree in exercise science. So they're writing their programs to the sport. They're actually salaried and on staff, so they're not worried about generating numbers. Our business development team, does that. So, I mean, our facility also has a premier rig. That's the only one in Southeast Virginia in the Move Strong Nova XL rig, where our, SWAT team trains on, firefighters, actually OCR or obstacle course racing athletes train on that as well. So, I mean, we have a vast majority. Basically, we are a performance center. We're not a gym. If you wanted to walk on the treadmill and do some curls, you may want to go down to your local box gym. And then, we're really able to kind of capitalize on an athletic athletes that start from all the way from 5. We have right now, I'm looking out there in our window, we have 5-year-olds and 7-year-olds, learning basic motor skills and how to use, their body functions and mechanics. And we, have NFL athletes who come in here and train, as well as people getting ready for the NFL 19 draft.
Jeez,
That's very cool.
That's serious.
It is a lot, and it's very serious. We take it very seriously, but we have a lot of fun with it as well.
Yeah, it sounds incredible. The knowledge alone. It's not just a bunch of guys that got physical trainer or something on their chest.
Right. That's not going to last. It's not going to last very long.
Yeah, I know.
That's awesome.
That's incredible.
I know. I kind of want to go.
I know. Now you said you're in Newport News, Virginia?
That is correct. We're in Newport News, right across the street from the airport. We're on Jefferson, one of the busiest streets in Newport News. And, we have a great sign right out front, and we have a huge sign on our building, and we're right beside the Home Depot in Newport News.
Oh, that's great.
Sweet. All right. So my next question is kind of irrelevant because you already covered it. It was what sets you apart, but you just gave us a whole lot of meat right there. Like being able to have trainers that are not just, oh, I'm in shape.
Can't call them trainers. You gotta call them coaches.
Oh yeah, sorry. Coaches, they're not trainers. They're actually to understand everything. So that's a really cool thing to have.
Now everything isn't always peaches and cream. Everything's not always great, right? So I got a great story, and you face some obstacles along the way. Would you like to share a couple of them with the audience?
Okay, sure. So starting off specifically with Shockwave, we were supposed to be open probably about, I would say, 6 months before our opening date. And so what happened was that we were in a previous location. We were looking and pretty much settled on the place. And then, our contractor came out there, started pulling things, and lo and behold, there's lead base and asbestos.
Oh.
So yeah, the building was built in the 50s.
1956.
Yeah, 1956 to be exact. And we're looking like, who's going to do this remediation? Like, this is going to take some time, and
$200,000.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We had to pull all the stuff and all the ceiling, and so
we had equipment orders.
Right. Oh yeah.
We had turf orders.
Oh yeah.
We had all the equipment. Everything was ordered.
My stomach is starting to turn as I think about it.
The architect and everything had design.
Oh yeah.
Everything
We had stamp drawings.
Stamped drawings. Ready. We were ready to go. We were supposed to be open at the latest in May of 2018.
Wow.
And then in May we found out that we had the asbestos and the lead-based paint. So then we had to scramble to try to find another location. And mind you, we had already had plans for a 33,000 square foot facility. So where do you just pop up a 32,000 square foot facility anywhere else? And we kept looking and praying, a whole lot of praying, because we were ready to go, but we had that big challenge, and fortunately, turn of events, we were able to find this facility by chance.
I know.
No, that was
pretty rough because
it was not chance. It was God had it in His plan. But the way that it just happened, it was just, you definitely know that there was somebody else behind that.
Yeah. I like that. Basically God's hand had to move to get this to work out for you guys. And I like where you put that. But literally, if you went into the facility and you didn't cash that up front, how bad would that have been? Way worse.
Right.
You built the whole place and didn't realize that. Yeah.
We could have got shut down.
To come in and
we
take out the
wouldn't
ceiling.
have been able to pass, code. So there was no way that was going to happen unless it got, remediation, and, the landlord did not want to do it. So that's the reason why to this day that location has been empty for like 7 years, and it has 14 years.
Oh, geez.
So, well, we didn't know that much. It had been, vacant that long, and then come to find out that it was, they kept on passing on from owner to owner to owner, because I guess when they find out that it has asbestos, they just try to sell it and they don't disclose that.
That's crazy.
It was a bad situation. It was a big obstacle for sure.
Well, I'm glad you guys were able to get over that, because that's crazy.
Yeah, it's a big obstacle to face. You punched it in the face. You kept moving forward. That's fantastic.
All right. So have you guys ever been in a situation where you've had no money and just had to struggle? Some people have, some people haven't. So I'm just curious to hear your story on that.
Oh, yeah. Growing up for both of us, my dad was when we moved to Virginia, was an E2 in the Navy. And my mom hadn't had her degree. I believe she was like a paraprofessional. And we struggled. I remember growing up, and, it was only me. But at the same time, too, the crazy part about it is that I didn't miss anything with the love that I had in my house. So we didn't have a lot. I remember, moving, and I remember the lights being off a couple times, growing up. So I think that gave me a fortitude and a resiliency that's a little bit different. So when I get in high pressure situations, and I think, my military career kind of helped me as well, deployments and, seeing those type of things has really kind of shaped me into the person I am. She calls me the serial killer because nothing really fake. Yeah, so thanks. So yeah. So for us, for me, I mean, and we have similar, growing up as well.
Yeah, I grew up in Puerto Rico. Parents, working class parents as well. I have a brother. There was a point in time where my dad had lost his job, and he couldn't find anything in Puerto Rico. So then he moved to Miami to find a job. And then we moved after he found a place for us to live. We were living in a 1-bedroom apartment. I would sleep with my brother in a fold-out couch in the living room, and my parents had the bedroom. And there were times that we didn't even have a car. My mom walked us to school every single day, and it was like 3 miles away. And then she walked back. And then walk back to pick us up, and then, we would walk back as well. So, we have grown up, having to miss out on a lot of things, but the one thing that we never missed out on was love, and the fact that, our parents tried everything in their power to provide for us despite the circumstances. I personally have been in that situation as well. I was a single mom in the Navy. And I was an E3 when I joined there. So, I was making $15,000 a year back in 1996. So, being a single mom in the military and the E3, it was tough times. So, the best time that I could show my daughter was take her to McDonald's and let her play around inside the playground and give her a Happy Meal. So we both have been in positions, where we have had to struggle. And there's times that even now that we have had to struggle, but at the same time, we rely very heavily on God, and we rely very heavily on each other and our family and our family unit and the love that we have, and we've been able to move on.
Yeah.
And we have a very similar background, at least coming from families that grew up with not much, but we're rich in love. Right? We didn't have a lot of money, but we were definitely rich in love. I never realized it until I was older that I'm wearing these fancy pants, clothes, and my mom's wearing the same jeans she's been wearing for 20 years. You know, I never realized this stuff. But it makes you really thankful for definitely your family, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
And we have the same background about McDonald's, because I used to take kids there all the time because, you know, we're doing business and the Wi-Fi gets shut off. And we're like, how do we do an online business with no Wi-Fi? Because we didn't pay the bill. Or a lot of times it was Tally forgot to pay the bill too. But we went to McDonald's to steal Wi-Fi so we could go to work.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I think it's really powerful when you share your background, because people will see your success and they'll see your business and they'll think, oh, he's had it easy his whole life, or she's had it simple and it's been, you know, and so it's really cool to be able to hear where you came from and the journey that you've been on. So
absolutely. I mean, it's almost hard to have a business where you got this huge 34,000 square foot facility and they're probably, oh, daddy probably bought it for him. And that's probably makes you want to get somebody and lift my fist.
All right. It does. If somebody were to assume that, you know, they don't know me at all. So
exactly. Yeah. But I really appreciate you guys being vulnerable and kind of explaining that, because it really is powerful for listeners.
Yep. And so let's move into marriage. So you guys are about 5 years in. Now I know it can be difficult to work with your spouse because we do it all the time. We're like together 24/7. There's a rare moment where we're not together. But I wanted to know, like, how do you guys define your roles and make it so that you guys can work well together?
I think the biggest thing is that, you know, since, you know, our relationship has started, I mean, we've always talked a lot. You know, so we don't mind telling each other you're getting on my nerves. You know, or we don't mind telling each other, you know, this is a stupid idea. And I think if you have that, you know, I think it's so important for couples to be real with each other who work together in business, that, you know, you're able to put your business hat off and then come back to your husband role or your wife role or your father role or whatever that you need to be, to make those different segments and transitions and changes. Because if you continually drive on work, you know, your family's going to fail. If you continue to focus on your family, your business is going to fail. So I think the yin and the yang, she's, you know, way more high strung than I am. So it balances out as things that need my attention. You know what I mean? So I need to go ahead and give those my attention. And, you know, she does a good job of keeping me in check. That's for sure.
So, you know, when we met, we have always we're kind of old school. Even though he's 10 years younger, almost 9.5 years, you know, younger than I am, we're both very old school. So the way that we have always been with each other, you know, since our relationship started, kind of old school. You know, he's got his role, I got my role. Doesn't diminish my role because he's got his role. I respect him as my head of household. He respects me as his wife. We're in this 50-50, and, you know, but he has his responsibilities. I have my responsibilities. We come together. And because we have had those clear roles since the beginning, and I don't feel less of a woman because he's taking the lead. And he, you know, takes the lead, and I'm okay with that. That doesn't mean I don't have any input. Doesn't mean that he doesn't respect me as a wife, doesn't respect my opinion or anything. He affords me all that. But we have those established roles, and it works. I know not to overstep my boundaries, and he knows where he doesn't need to be overstepping on this side. So we work together. You know, it just, for us, it just clicked. And that's why, you know, I say we've been married 5 years, going on 20. Because honestly, in a good way, it does not feel like, because we never really went into like people trying to get to know each other or trying to figure out. We kind of just fell into marriage very well, and we just support each other. We talk a lot. We talk throughout the day. We text each other. Right now we don't see each other 24/7, but there's gonna come a point where we will. He's gonna see my face at home. He's gonna see my face here at work. I don't mind that because I'm in business and I'm in marriage with my best friend, and we really, just get along that well. Doesn't mean that we don't get on each other's nerves sometimes. And we might not fuss at each other or whatever, but, honestly, we've never even had an argument. We don't raise our voice to each other. We don't cuss at each other. We don't call each other out of names. The most important thing for us in our marriage is love and respect. And we carry that over to our business as well.
That's awesome. It's like we got a lot in common, except for the yelling part. She yells at me all the time.
What? No, don't believe
Being
that.
3 inches shorter, I'm constantly being looked down on.
I had to lower my chair so I could be closer.
Oh yeah, well you know.
Oh, yeah. I'm not sure exactly what the height difference is, but at least I stand over Vanessa. So.
She's 6 foot tall. I am 5'9", so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll escape between her legs.
All right. So back on topic, honey. So I think everybody in business is always trying to grow, always trying to learn. And so I think it's really important for you to have some type of mentor. It can be books you read. It can be someone that you speak with. It can be a podcast or anything like that. So where do you guys get mentorship?
I have business mentors that are, that constantly pour into me. I'm, very close with some very successful people, and they're always, hey, you should do this, or, well, actually, they never tell me what I should do. They always make suggestions of their experience, and that's what I've learned to do with people as well. That I can mentor is just tell you a combination of my experience. If I can avoid the mistakes or help you avoid the mistakes that I've made, I'm willing to do that because it's all about getting each other better. That's definitely one of my mantras, and having the ability to lead and help people discover themselves. All you're doing is just planting seeds, and you're giving them the room to water and grow those seeds. And that's what it's all about. And so, mentoring for me is huge, and I have those mentors who do the exact same thing for me, where, I run things or bounce things off of them. They're like, well, in this situation when I was there, and, with, the private planes and things that they have, I kind of listen to those suggestions.
Yeah, it's the same thing when we talk about when we, on our episode, we give a lot of advice on different things, and everything we give advice on, we've gone through. And
right.
We always give the analogy of we went through the minefield, we got our legs blown off. We just want to make sure you keep your limbs when you cross too. Like, I know they're
right.
here and here, just cross here. Don't do the same things we did. Do this way, and it'll work. You're good to go.
Right.
So having those mentors in your life is probably extremely powerful.
Yep.
Right.
Back to marriage. Why do you think it's important to continue to date your spouse?
I'll let her answer that one.
We actually don't have a lot of dates.
Shame.
I know. One of the reasons is because we love our son so much that we don't want to leave him with just anyone to babysit. And like I said, we don't really have a lot of family here. We have my older daughter, and whenever she can, she'll watch her brother, but that's the only instance that we leave him. So our date nights usually consist of being able to be at home, relaxing, watching a movie, if we make it through the whole movie without falling asleep, or, having a nice dinner, or, talking. Since we spend so much time together and we really enjoy each other's company, we feel it is important to date your spouse, but it is more important to keep our son safe. So whenever we do get a chance to be able to go escape and, go to a movie or go out to dinner, we take that opportunity. I, see all these spouses that, make time every week to go out to dinner and, have a date night or whatever. If we can do that at least once a month, it's very rare. But at the end of the day, we still have a great relationship. It is important to date your spouse, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to go out. To us, it means just being together, being in the same room, watching a movie, having a glass of wine, and enjoying each other's company. And, we still flirt a lot with each other. We text each other, leave each other little notes, and, I force kissed him, because he's not really a super affectionate guy, but I don't know, it doesn't matter. I'm Puerto Rican and I am, so he just has to pick it up.
That's right. And, funny thing is, we're the same way. I'm sitting here thinking about, we went on, I guess, an afternoon date today.
We had our daughter with us.
Yeah, we had our daughter with us, so it's not really, she's too,
Chaperone.
she didn't know what's going on anyway, but we went out lunch. Well, we don't go out to eat anymore because we've been on a diet for over a month. So it's like the first time we did anything. So you're right. The perfect date for us is opening up a laptop and watching a movie. That's it.
Right.
Right. And at the end of the day, that's what matters. We do escape every once in a while for lunch together. So that we're able to do because, our son is in school. So, there's ways to work around it. But at the end of the day, what really matters is you being together. It doesn't matter in which scenario, like, we have a little chaperone with us all the time.
We got 4 of those. So,
yeah. He's that love, between his mother and his father, and we're showing him how a marriage should be and what is really important. And at the end of the day, that's what really matters.
Yeah.
Great example.
Yeah, I love it. All right, guys. What is the hardest decision you've ever had to make in business? And then tell us kind of how it all panned out.
Opening up a 34,000 square foot facility. And it panned out. We had our official ribbon cutting November 20th. So, we're definitely feeling that first couple of months of like, oh my gosh, did we really do this? You know what I mean? So, as teams and things are coming in here, and February looks to be one of our banner months. We're definitely excited about what's going on. But yeah, the build up, the architectural design, the moving in all the equipment, the lights. I mean, this light bill alone will make you cry. You know what I mean? So, all of those things is, but it was a step out on faith. We knew that, God had given us this particular location, and everything just fell in place, and, and the right people came about, and everything came along, and we really, really, really are excited about the opportunity to bring something that has not been on the peninsula ever. And so that keeps us definitely going. But that is the biggest challenge in business because, we have Team Best Fit, which is a health and wellness consulting firm. We coach a lot of, pro bodybuilding athletes and physique, and we do, I do nutrition plans for, triathletes and, a variety of different things. And that started and blew up very quickly. And then we transitioned to a brick and mortar, this facility. And it has been a journey and a ride, and, we're just getting started, but, we're happy we're in it together. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's cool. All right, guys. So what is your philosophy on failure? Because I think a lot of people think if you fail at something, then that's the end. It's over. You need to quit and do something else. What's your kind of thoughts on failure and how that applies in life in general?
Failure is, and I've learned this in business and I've learned this for myself, is perspective. Failure really is perspective. The different things that people say you fail at, you fail because of this or you fail because of that, but it depends on what you learn from that particular instance. Does that denote failure? So I think people throw that failure word around and it tries to encompass making mistakes, you know what I mean? Or outside the gambit of you trying to learn and do better. But, for me, if I learn from it, then I can't fail. You know what I mean? And if I can get better and I can take those lessons that I learned and do these things, then I can get better. So for failure to me is perspective. So, it's going to take a lot for me to say, oh, that was a failure, because I try to go in every situation with an open heart and open mind to learn something. And then that allows me to navigate through choppy waters, which may seem like failures, but it's just going to get me to the closer side of success.
Yeah, I think a lot of people confuse obstacles with failure. They think that an obstacle gets in their way and I'm done, I'm over, whatever. That's the only time you're really failure is, well, I tried to cross the street, I get hit by a bus. Yeah, you fail.
Right. That's a little different. Right.
We always say that failure is only fatal if it's final. You give up, you quit. Okay, I guess you failed. And a lot of people live their life by that. I can't do it. I failed. I failed the test. Well, you can just retake the test or retake the course, whatever else.
Exactly.
Like me, I'm leaving college. I'm out of here. And then that's not failure. That's commitment. But, yeah, I agree with you guys 100%.
And that's the important thing. No, that's just the important thing there is about failure, because I always tell people you need to have discipline. Motivation will leave. Discipline will be there when you don't feel like doing it.
Absolutely.
That's true. What was the most valuable thing one of your mentors, anybody who has kind of helped you or coached you through any one of your situations, what's the most valuable thing that they've given you or told you to kind of help move you forward?
To strap your handcuffs on your wrist and strap one handcuff on the wheel. And if that car falls off the cliff, which is your business, then you die with it. That's clear.
I like that.
Best advice I've ever got. Best advice I've ever got.
Well, it's kind of like marriage, right?
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say it's just like
Yeah, because when we got married, I told him, I said, I don't believe in divorce. So if we're going into this, it's till death do us part.
Right. Yeah.
There's no exit door. There's no exit strategy. We're in this forever.
That's why they call it the ball and chain.
Yeah, absolutely.
I never call you.
Absolutely.
I was gonna say we should make that product come on Amazon, the marriage handcuffs, but that'll be taken in the wrong direction.
Yeah, that could be. That could get you that R rating if you're looking for that.
Oh no, we don't want that.
I don't want the R rating.
Okay, let's see. All right, so here's a random kind of question. If you woke up tomorrow and you had lost everything, what would you do differently or the same? And would you get everything back, or would you just try to do something completely different?
You have to do what you're passionate about, and not necessarily what you're good at. People need to understand that difference. So if I had woke up and had a new passion, I would have to go after that. Training performance has always been my passion, so I love that. And then I was able to use my school to utilize all the way up to my PhD program to make sure that I could thrive on my passion in an educated way. So those are the two things that I say is that I can read and write and educate myself, and then I still have passion. Then whatever God believe me, if it's something completely different, I'll be okay. I would just need to find what that passion entails.
I just believe that as long as you have your family, you have life and breath, everything else is material. Everything else can be replaced. But your life, your health, your family, the love that you have for them, you can build up from there, because you can always reinvent yourself. And just like he said, you can find something that you're passionate about, and you can regain things back. I have literally lost everything at one point in my life. I lost my home. I lost my job of 7 years. I had to file bankruptcy. So I literally did lose everything, but I was able to, take it and deal with it. And I had my life. I had my health. I had my family, and I had their love and their support, and here I am. So you can always reinvent yourself, and as long as you follow your passion and you follow the things that God has placed in your horizon, then you're going to be able to make it.
Yeah. Only takes a mustard seed of faith, doesn't it?
Right.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. It can move a mountain for sure.
That's the truth.
That's
Well, guys, this is the last kind of question. It's not really even a question, but just for people who this is their first time they're hearing about Shockwave and about the best couple, what would you like them to know about your facility, what you offer, and how you can help them out?
Sure. So for us, we train athletes all the way from 5 all the way up to 85. Some new programs we have on the horizon is AMPed, which is Adult Movement and Performance, which is basically an athletic class for our adults. They've really been asking for that. They're like, hey, we see all these athletes, these young guys in here, we want a class. So we definitely made that as well for anyone over 18. We have our Total Sports Performance, which involves athletes usually at the high school, middle school level, and then we have our Shock Stars, which is starts at 5 years old, usually to 10 years old. And then we have, like I said, we have indoor track clubs who come in here who rent the facility. We have people who rent the facility, as far as our group fitness classroom. We also have a classroom downstairs with a smart board we rent as well. So there are several different things that we have. Yep, we have athletic yoga, recovery yoga, which is a regular yoga area. So we just really cater to different athletes of what's going on. So it's super important for us to get that out there, that we are not a gym in any way, shape, or form. But the cool thing about it is that we are jolting the athletic potential of not only the community, because we have a nonprofit group we run here as well, but we're jolting the citizen athletes for a lifetime.
Very cool.
That's great. You guys can be found at www.shockwave.com. SP, S is in Sam, P is in Paul.com, or S is in strength, P is in performance. Right?
That is correct. Yes, sir.
SP.com. And for listeners, if you guys want to go to the MIBpodcast.com/shockwave, you guys can see all about their specials and offers that they have for any of the listeners here today.
And anyone who is listening for the first time to the Married and in Business podcast, we just want to let you know that we are here each and every week providing you with information about building an Amazon business, an eBay business, and also the background behind business. So if you haven't heard our older episodes, we recommend going back onto our page, themibpodcast.com, and checking that out. So we thank everybody for listening. Thank you guys for being here. We so appreciate it.
Thanks, guys, so much.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for having us. Thank you. Really appreciate it.
Oh, hi.
All right. Yeah.
Bye-bye, buddy.
My name is JJ.
Oh, okay.
Hey, JJ. Well, welcome to the show, JJ.
JJ stole the show.
Yeah, he did. Well, thank you so much
guys.
again for having us.
Yes, thank you so much. Y'all have a good night.
All right, sis. Bye-bye.
Bye.